Skylab Rescue Mission, 1974. In the annals of space exploration, the Skylab missions of the early 1970s are often remembered as a remarkable achievement. The United States' first space station, where astronauts conducted groundbreaking experiments that pushed the boundaries of human endurance. But beneath the surface of these celebrated missions lies a secret that NASA has never fully acknowledged: the Skylab Rescue Mission of 1974. What started as a routine science operation spiraled into a desperate effort to save the lives of astronauts stranded in orbit, an emergency that could have resulted in one of the greatest tragedies in space history. Skylab was launched in 1973 as America's first attempt at establishing a permanent presence in space. The station, built from a modified Saturn V rocket, was designed to allow astronauts to conduct long-duration scientific experiments, study the effects of microgravity on the human body, and observe Earth from a new perspective. But while the public saw a successful space program unfolding on their television screens, the reality was far more precarious. By the time the Skylab 4 mission launched in November 1973, tension between mission control and the astronauts had reached a breaking point. The crew, Commander Gerald Carr, science pilot Edward Gibson, and pilot William Pogue, was tasked with an exhausting workload, leading to a near mutiny in space. But as the mission progressed, something far more dangerous loomed on the horizon. During routine operations, Mission Control began to detect anomalies in Skylab's systems. The oxygen levels were fluctuating, and power levels were dropping at an alarming rate. The crew reported increasing difficulty maintaining thermal control and keeping essential systems operational. At first, the problems were dismissed as minor glitches. But as the days passed, it became clear that Skylab's life support systems were deteriorating, and fast. By January 1974, NASA faced a grim reality. If the systems failed completely, the crew would be left stranded in space with no way to return home. Mission planners scrambled for a solution, but time was running out. The decision was made to prepare a contingency plan that had never been publicly disclosed: the Skylab Rescue Mission. NASA began outfitting a Saturn IB rocket with a modified Apollo command module, designed to accommodate 5 astronauts, instead of the usual 3. 2 astronauts, Vance Brand and Don Lind, were selected as the rescue crew, tasked with executing one of the most dangerous space missions ever conceived. The plan was simple in theory, but fraught with peril in execution. The rescue crew would dock with Skylab, transfer the endangered astronauts to the command module, and return to Earth. But the logistics of the mission were staggering. The modified command module had never been tested in a real emergency scenario, and the added weight of 2 extra passengers posed significant risks during re-entry. NASA engineers worked around the clock to ensure that the spacecraft was ready for a rescue attempt, knowing that failure would mean the loss of the Skylab 4 crew. As the rescue mission was being prepared, NASA kept the public in the dark. Any mention of a potential disaster in space could undermine public confidence in the space program and jeopardize future missions. Officially, NASA portrayed the situation as a routine mission, while behind the scenes, a life-or-death scenario unfolded. Miraculously, the worst-case scenario was narrowly avoided. Thanks to the crew's resourcefulness and the efforts of Mission Control, Skylab's systems were stabilized just in time. The need for a rescue mission was averted, and Skylab 4's crew safely returned to Earth on February 8, 1974. But the rescue mission remained on standby until the very end, a silent guardian that was ready to be launched at a moment's notice. The Skylab rescue mission was never needed, but its implications were profound. It highlighted just how vulnerable astronauts were in the unforgiving environment of space, where even the smallest malfunction could spell disaster. It also exposed the lengths to which NASA was willing to go to protect its astronauts, even if it meant keeping the public in the dark about the real dangers of spaceflight. Decades later, the story of the Skylab rescue mission remains a hidden chapter in the history of space exploration. While it never unfolded as a dramatic rescue mission, it served as a sobering reminder that in the vastness of space, survival is never guaranteed. And as humanity sets its sights on returning to the moon and reaching Mars, the lessons learned from Skylab's near catastrophe continue to echo, reminding us that even in the pursuit of the stars, danger is never far away.